Here are all the things you need to know about the Husqvarna Viking Onyx 25 sewing machine for knowing how to thread it and wind a bobbin and get ready to start to sew. But before we do that, just a little glance at the warranty that comes with this machine. It is a 10-year machine warranty, a 2-year warranty on the electrical parts like the foot control and power cord, and just a 1-year basic service warranty. You will find you can register your machine at the Husqvarna website, husqvarnaviking.com, and then all that information will be stored. Sometimes your local store will do this for you, so just know that you have this and you can do it as well. As we get started, let's talk about quality thread. We find that if you're going to use cheap thread or thread that grandma had 30, 40, 50 years ago, this might not be the best choice for your brand new machine. So do treat yourself to some quality thread. We'll put some links below to some threads that are good. Your Husqvarna Viking store will recommend some as well, but just don't use cheap thread. It really is not worth it. It's fluffy, it's not consistent. So as you feel the thread, if you can feel bumps and thin parts and thick parts, that's not what you're looking for. So you need thread that is as nice and smooth as it goes, and that will make all the difference when you start to sew. So we're going to just take the bobbin out that came with the machine, and we're going to start by winding the bobbin and then get it threaded so we can get started with working through all the stitches. So I hope you'll check out all the videos. We have made a complete playlist at the end here that you can start watching all the videos in order and learn this machine from inside and out. Now, this is actually a spool cap that I am going to place on the end of this spool. Now, there are 2 spool caps that came with the machine. One's a little smaller, so if your spool's a little skinnier, go ahead and use that. But just make sure that as you push it on, there's no gap between the 2. Thread can kind of fall into that middle. As we look at the top of the machine, everything is numbered for threading and for winding a bobbin. So let's take a look at the path for getting the thread on the bobbin and how to start winding it. So whether you're doing a bobbin or threading the machine, your first guide is for both. So go ahead and click that in there so it's underneath the little holders, and then we can just come over to the pre-tensioner. So this is very crucial for winding a bobbin successfully, is your thread needs to actually click in here. Now you notice the little direction of this dotted line has you going around it clockwise and then crisscrossing over the top of it. That will help give you that nice smooth wind that we're looking for on a bobbin. Here it is recommending that we take the thread and bring it from the inside out in one of those holes. So just go ahead, find the hole, come from the inside up, and get a hold of that tail. And as you place the bobbin on the bobbin winder, you will find that you can hold this thread straight up. When you push this all the way over, the machine actually disengages from sewing, and actually when you step on the foot control, see how it's going to spin the bobbin, but you don't hear the machine's needle going up and down. So as you hold this thread nice and tight and straight up, don't let go, and go ahead and wind until you get it to either break off or stop and cut the thread really, really close to the hole. That way you don't have a little tail sticking all the way up. As you continue to wind a bobbin, you're going to find that eventually it will stop. I'm a fan of winding a full bobbin anytime that I'm starting out, then that way I don't run out. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it up, and I'm going to show you what happens as it gets closer to the full size. See how nice and tight it is, and that's because of the pre-tensioner right here that we went around it correctly. So it slows down when you find yourself almost full. So you can take your scissors, snip it, and then go ahead and slide the bobbin away from that little stopper. And then if you think about it, when you pull this straight up, when we go to drop it into the bobbin case, it's the same direction. So we're going to pick it up and lower it. Now I'm going to show you how you know which way it goes in case this is filled and off to the side and you go to pick it up at another time. But here's the trick. If you pick it up here, you can go right to the bobbin and drop it in. So you see the thread is coming off the left-hand side of the bobbin. Just drop it in. And so how do we know that? We know that because we can see on the bobbin case door a reminder of which way that bobbin needs to spin for it to be successful. It also shows that you're coming all the way over to about 5:30 and you're coming underneath this black piece with the white arrow on top. And this is a tension area underneath. So sometimes I like to hold my finger on and give it a little pull. I heard a little click. That click, which we don't see, but we do hear, is your thread in the bobbin tension. Follow the little path with the white U-turn arrow at the top. Come on down. Here's one more arrow down at this part, and there's a cutter. So if I pull on this thread right here and pull, it cuts it to the perfect length. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead, put the bobbin case door in on the left and click it down on the right, and then just leave it. Just forget about it. To get this door off, I just took this little lever with my finger and pushed to the side. So it just pops it up, and then that's how you get in, and then you just bring it back and click it in place. Before we start threading the machine, I wanted you to double check that the presser foot is up, and then that way everything is open that's supposed to be open. So reach in the back, there's a lever that goes up and down. Make sure it's completely up. Now, the pre-tensioner that we talked about for the bobbin winding is not used when we're doing sewing. So we're gonna just undo it so it comes on out, and then we're gonna follow the guides with the solid arrows and numbers. So we're coming around here at number 2, straight down at number 3. Now, did you notice what I did back here? I am holding this thread. So as I bring it down through this area, I want to give it a little tug. And I can also do that as I've come underneath this small area here with the U-turn at number 4 and give it a little floss. Do you know that that is what makes the machine accept the thread fully, so it doesn't just kind of sort of get threaded, it gets threaded with purpose. Now, right now, if this part isn't sticking up, I want you to take the hand wheel on the side, twist it until it actually comes to its highest position, and then that way you can bring the thread in on the right and then down on the left. You can see that it actually kind of connects in this little hole, but that opening is what allows you to just come over the top and it clicks in. As we come all the way down to the bottom of the housing, there's number 6. There's a guide right here at the bottom. You just kind of hook it around. Once it's behind the little guide, there's one more guide at the very top of the needle, also open on the right side. So I'm going to just kind of take my thread and drop it behind there. That puts the thread very close to the needle. So if you miss that guide, the thread's kind of coming from here all the way kind of angled, and that's not really best. So make sure you don't forget that last guide at the top of the needle. And now we have the needle threader. Now I am going to do a video with the needle threader and all how it works specifically, but you can bring it down. We're catching the thread around this little hook all the way down and then bringing the thread across up into that needle threader and then letting it pull it out of your fingers. There's the loop. I can pull that right on through and I'm ready to stitch. So yes, I am going to do a video for you to understand all the steps, but yes, that's how easy it is. There is a little cutter right here on the side of the machine. I'm going to just kind of shorten my thread by cutting it at that point. To get started, we're going to just slide this thread down the little groove of the foot, kind of push it out to the back, and we're going to just do its very first, it's like its maiden voyage of stitching, is I'm going to take some fabric. You'll see me always folding it in half and sliding it in underneath the presser foot. Reach behind the machine and lower the foot down. And let's just take a few stitches to see that I have threaded it correctly. Oh, this machine sounds smooth. Love the way this sounds. It really is going to be a sweet machine to show you all the cool things. There is a reverse button for locking. So if you hold this down and stitch, you'll actually go back a few stitches and then stop. Now here is the key for getting everything smoothly out of the machine and ready for the next time you sew. So you need to reach over to the side of the machine, always turn the hand wheel towards you, but what I'm doing is I'm bringing the needle up. Now, not just up out of the fabric, but see right here, watch here until the take-up lever comes to the highest position and is above the frame of the housing. You see it nice and tall? It's almost looking at you. That's when the stitch is complete. Now, that's important when you lift up the presser foot, slide the fabric out, and then cut your thread. You can go from front to back or back to front. And as you put it in again, because you completed that last stitch by bringing the take-up lever to the highest position, you don't have to hold these threads when you start. Just watch. We can just go ahead and start sewing, and it will go ahead and not move those threads at all, and it makes it come out perfect. So your machine is going to stop at any position. The needle could be up, it could be down, it could be in the fabric. We're reaching over to the hand wheel. We're turning it always towards us, bringing the needle up, and then looking for the take-up lever. There he is, and then we can lift up the presser foot, slide the fabric out, and we have the same stitch on the front as we do on the back. So that is when you know your machine has been completely threaded correctly. So we're going to go into more detail about the needle threader, the adjustments for stitches, and how to pick your different stitches that are on the stitch selection knob. You'll find a complete playlist of all the videos that we're doing on this beautiful Husqvarna Viking Onyx 25 sewing machine. So I hope you'll start at the beginning and watch them all the way through, knowing that you can always come back and refresh at any time.